Yeah, I don't know. If I were to, I think if I was ever a political leader, I'd most likely be like a dictatorship, but I'd be the ideal dictatorship. So I wouldn't control people for power. I'd control people for like making things better,
Yeah, I
but
know.
not
Yeah.
not really in like the way of like controlling people. Like, all right, you're doing this for your life. You're doing that for your life. Oh, you do this. You do that. It basically like it's like, all right, it'd be better to help out this class of people right here if we did this. So we're gonna take this here from you guys, but we're also going to tax you really high so that you basically get whatever you want for free because you make more money at your job. So it's like you're not really losing stuff. You just don't have to worry about the money stuff. There's probably more political stuff behind that, but I don't want to go into detail about it. It's
I mean,
a long,
that
long
sounds
story.
ideal, you know?
Yeah. And then the other thing you'd do there too is like, well, have a system implemented where it's like everybody in the country is registered. And it's like, all right, you don't have a job. These guys right here need employment. Here's a house in the area. You go there. You work there. If over time you don't like working there, well, whenever you can find yourself something you enjoy doing that you want to go do, you're welcome to go and do that. You don't have to stay here by force.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be homeless and you're not going to be unemployed. So here's a government house provided to you. It's not going to sit empty. Here is a job that needs a position filled. If it's something you need schooling for, well, we will train you and you will go and do that. So basically, everybody will have their positions filled. Everybody will have a job. Everybody will have living. And other bullshit like that.
I mean, that sounds nice.
And there's probably like more complications behind that, but like I said, that'd be
Well,
getting into
yeah.
more details that I don't really want to ramble on about that right now. But I think it's time for another drink.
Yeah.
I'll never forget what one of my history teachers said about Adolf Hitler. Where she was like, if he used his if he used his power for good, then we would be talking to him in a whole nother way because he knew how to be a fucking leader. He was really good at
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
But
And here's something else to think too. Where he was from and in their ideology, what he was doing was good, but to the rest of the world, it was not
Yeah.
good.
oh,
Exactly.
yeah, that's how I perceive a lot of like conflicts.
But I can kind of understand like their ideology of what they were thinking because it's like he almost wanted to eliminate the whole thing of racism and discrimination and all the other stuff that's happening in the world that basically other people couldn't seem to get around and were basically making it a problem because they wanted it to be a problem.
But he wanted to do it through killing them.
Another
Yeah, it
another
basically his idea was like, oh, nobody likes these people and there's a lot of racism towards these people and all that. They're the minority, so why don't we just remove the minority and basically
Yeah.
have one giant superior race and we can focus on doing other stuff in the world. But doing that is like no. It's like you can't do that. It's human
There
life. You
has to be
can't just
diversity in the
erase
world.
human
Like,
life because.
a lot
But
of
that also, oh, sorry to cut you off there. I'm just gonna quickly finish this. But that reminds me of what one of my coworkers said at work. There, he's an older guy, but he's like saying that he thinks the reason why there are so many different cultures on the world and so many different races and colors is it's a test to see if we can get along with each other. So we're all basically human on the inside, but we're like different appearances on the outside and sometimes different mentally thoughts. But it's basically like a giant test to see if we can get along with each other and basically to show if you can be a good person yourself. Just accept the person next to you.
I wish life was that simple.
I wish it was that simple too. Well, it can be that simple. It's just the difficulty is that not everybody thinks like that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I find too is that once you get to a certain age, it's pretty hard to change the way you think if you're not like open. I'm an open-minded person,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and then that
But you're not
also
gonna change.
that right there also brings up another complication because it's
Oh,
like, oh, well, we could just solve the problem by teaching kids to be accepting of that, and then you'll run into the complication of people like, oh, now you're just brainwashing children,
yeah, exactly.
and you'd be able to free to choose what they want. And that free choice is another thing that would basically another reason why I'd want more of a dictatorship, because then it's like, you know what, if you think it's brainwashing, I don't care. I am here to basically make people accepting of each other. And like right now, you might think it's brainwashed, but in time, basically everybody will be happy in some way.
Yeah,
A lot of people, well, a lot of people don't realize about Nazis and the German people back in the 1930s is that a lot of people actually didn't know what was going on with the camps and whatnot. A lot of people just simply didn't know.
Yeah, I remember
That's a really
reading a lot
fucking
about that
scary
there too.
thought.
Is that it's basically everything that the Nazi Germany, or basically the Nazi government party, was doing was all in secrecy. The citizens didn't know about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's like, it's if their citizens found out about something like that, they would have been like, "Whoa, no, wait, what's going on?" Like, they probably
Yeah,
knew that they were going to war, but they probably thought that the war that they were going to was for a different reason, and they probably never realized that. Like, there might have been like some kind of bullshit going around being spread by the government saying like, "Oh yeah, if you notice people missing in your neighborhoods and towns, they've most likely gone to join our enemy to fight against us, and our rise to want to be better people." Where instead, no, they haven't gone to join the enemy. They've basically been marked as a target, picked up, and rounded up in camps. Which I don't even really understand. Well, I guess I can kind of understand that because it'd almost be like the extreme point of view on towards like blaming or hating on a specific type of people. But my wondering is like, what would be the cause towards that extreme view towards others? Because like right now we have people are saying that there's a similar situation happening in the U.S. right now with how Trump views Muslims, but he's got more reasoning behind why he doesn't like them, and it's basically like there's a lot more people from those types of societies that are claiming or said to be part of certain organizations. So there's a lot of fear and confusion about what's happening there. So my question is like, what caused Adolf Hitler to basically not like the Jewish people? What was his cause and reasoning for not liking them and wanting to get rid of them?
I can't remember all the specifics.
yeah, I can't either.
Yeah, it's like that. That's something like I don't know myself either.
Have to read Mein Kampf for that.
Yeah,
It might be in there somewhere.
Mein
I
Kampf
should see if there's
feature.
I should see if there's an audiobook from Mein Kampf.
there probably is.
It's just
I've
some.
almost kind of wanted to do that before. Basically, just like get books of every single religious Bibles and just read every single religious Bibles to get an understanding of like what people in certain religions think if they go to the extreme side of following a certain religion. That'd be pretty interesting to see what what do Buddhists think? What do people that followed Mein Kampf think? It's not a religion, but it's a political view.
Yeah,
What do people that follow the Quran think? It's like Jeremy's hunting some deer here in the game. I see a bunch of soldiers standing in some deer. Unless those are goats. I think I saw some goats there too.
I kind of want to attack this fucking city. Shit's going down.
We're at turn 398. The year is currently 1978.
1978, the siege of Ragusa in what is now present-day Mexico. Oh shit, they got like a little statue, right?
Ragusa.
That's
I
really-
see what looks like two I think it's two mines. Shipyard. Looks like a farm there. Oh yeah, I see they got two statues in their city. Three statues in their city. Must be a supreme dictatorship happening there. Which country is Ragusa part of?
I have no idea. It's a city-state, so it's not really a part of
Oh,
any.
I see. The city states. Yeah, city states are basically just ones that automatically pop up on the map there, and they reside with whoever they have better trust in, and whoever has the highest political reputation with,
There
and
you go.
trust with, or friendship.
You got there in the end.
They're a neutral state right now. Well, they're probably siding with somebody. Yeah, you can most likely. Are the cities not color coded in this game? Because I know in Civ 6 everybody was color coded, so you could easily tell who is who based on the color.
Like city-state wise, because they are.
Yeah. Well, city states is and also basically just like other civilizations.
Luckily,
So
the
like
city-state's
the
artillery
Greece
is
were. Well, if you look at your
preoccupied.
troops here right now, your troops are blue. That guy's red. The city states are usually always red. And then usually like other places, like I know China was orange, but I think it was always random. Another place was purple. Another place was green. And then usually to like tell who that is, you basically just go to the little menu that has each civilization in it for like bargaining and talking to them and stuff, and they'll like show their colors. I see you're buying something there. 8 turns.
We have to sacrifice some men, it seems. Huh? I can't hear who's ever whispering.
I was trying to say, welcome to the world's quietest Let's Play.
Oh.
I'm your host today, Markiplier. So you did world's quietest Let's Play. Number 1 and number 2. I don't think there's a number 3. There might be a number 3. I don't think
I wanna
there is, though.
Of Mark.
Of world's quietest Let's Play of Markiplier.
There's 3.
Oh, you did do number 3? Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched his world's quietest Let's Play, so I can't remember how many he has.
They're always funny.
It's the world's quietest Let's Play. Because I barely talk most of the time.
I remember he was playing Happy Wheels on it, and it's
Oh my
like when
God,
he's
yes.
whispering stuff. He's like, "Fuck."
Uh-huh.
He just repeats himself. I don't know if you guys heard that one. I'm gonna go be quiet.
That was real quiet.
Yeah, I was just like watching it. They were pretty funny. Just like since he was whispering,
Uh-huh.
whenever he said something like "Oh God damn it, fuck me in the asshole," stuff like that.
Yep.
It sounded